Hey guys, today we are going to talk about basic obedience. Sit, hear, and heel. And if we have more time, guess what? We'll throw a couple more in there. Alright, hey, my name is Lindsay. This is Gypsy Oak Retrievers. I am currently in Wyoming, and I have 10 dogs with me. 3 Labrador Retrievers, 2 are yellow, 1 chocolate, the rest black, and I have a French Bulldog that's pregnant. It's going to be having puppies here pretty soon. Hey guys, thanks for joining. So, the first thing I want to do is I want to talk about sit, because most people don't really understand. Hey Troy, good to see you, buddy. Most people don't understand what sit is, and they tell their dog to sit, and then they start talking to their buddy, and then their dog stands up and walks away. So how long do you think it takes for them? Hey Matt Green, how you doing, buddy? So how long do you think it takes for them to realize that sitting means like they only have to sit for 2 seconds, they just get up and leave? Okay? So that's why I tell everyone, if you're going to give your dog a command, then you need to focus on your dog until you decide to let him stop doing the command. So if you tell your dog to sit, then you have to focus on your dog and make sure he stays sat. If you're going to start talking to your buddy, release the dog. Okay? We have a release command at Gypsy Oak Retrievers. We say, okay, which means they can jump up and go do their thing, run around with the other dogs, or go off sniff and do their thing. But don't tell your dog, don't tell them that they need to sit and then ignore them and let them just get up and walk around. Okay, that's probably the #1 mistake. Okay, so since sit is our control command, we don't want the dog to think that, oh, sit means for 2 seconds, get up, walk away, no repercussion to that. So that's your job as a dog owner to make sure that they don't do that. Okay? Hey Chad, how you doing, bud? So that's the #1 thing. Okay, I've talked to other trainers, and I think the majority of us think that the sit command is our most important command. Realistically, if you're hunting, like we probably all do, your dog's sitting there next to you, we don't want them getting up and wandering around while we're trying to focus on incoming birds or calling birds. We want our dog to stay where we told them to sit down, or to kennel, or however they're hunting. So anyway, that's going to be our #1 thing. Here is probably the next one, which for some people they use the command come. That's fine. I can just yell here at 300 yards, and that E sound, that vowel, will carry all the way out there. If I'm yelling come at that distance, no chance. Okay? So, and if a dog's ignoring the whistle, you have to go to a verbal command, right? So anyway, I'm gonna try waving at you guys and see what that does. Okay. I haven't done a live for a long time. I used to give away tickets on Facebook, but anyway, see this cool shirt I'm wearing? I know it's backwards since that's how I have my camera set up. I have more of these t-shirts, and my plan is to give them away here in the weeks to come. But anyway, so here is our #2 command. What we're going to do is we are going to teach the dogs verbally, and then we're going to teach them with the whistle, because our whistle at a distance, generally speaking, is a lot easier than yelling. Okay? And no one likes to be around that guy at the duck blind sitting there yelling at his dog over and over again. Okay? I just talked to my buddy in Nashville. He said there's nothing worse. Anybody like that, they hunt with them one time, then they're done. So I'm like, if they have an electric collar on and you got a whistle, I'm sure you can get them under control pretty quick. Anyway, the hear command is something that we use a lot in basic training, because after we teach the dogs to sit, we want to teach them, and hear to me means for the dog to come straight in, and then I have him sit right in front of me. Okay? So that's here, is to come to me. Heel, which we're going to talk about here, that would be number 3, is when they sit there, then we have them fish hook around and heel and sit at our side, right? So, hey, poor boy ducking, good to see you there, buddy. So here means to come to us, okay? Same thing with the 3 trills on the whistle. Beep, 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 beep. That means come to me, right? So if we have sit down and we can make our dog come back to us, I mean, that's half the game. Every day in training, every time we're around our animals, I tell dogs to sit and to come to me like 3 times a day, every single dog. Okay, whether I'm getting them off the truck, training them, in training. Okay, those 2 commands, if your dog doesn't know anything else, they should at least know sit and hear. And you should teach that with the whistle and with the voice. Okay? How many times have you been around people that are hunting and their dog like doesn't do either one of the 2 basic commands? Like won't come back, guns are going off, the dog's just cruising around in the decoys, lost, too busy, you know, being overwhelmed, won't come back. I'm sure we've all experienced that. So anyway, those things are really important, okay? So sit and hear are 1 and 2. Number 3 is going to be heel. And heel, I'll tell you a funny little story here real quick. I had a nurse come out, and she didn't own a dog. She just loved dogs, and she was a friend of mine, and she wanted to see how we trained the dogs. So we're doing some work, we're doing some young dog stuff, some obedience. I wasn't thinking. I asked her to go back to the truck and get the healing stick. Well, in her mind, being a nurse, she thought heal meant H-E-A-L. Like I had some stick that I was going to heal the dogs with and make them all better. And I'll never forget that as long as I live. And she finally walked back to me and she goes, I can't find a healing stick. I don't know what you're talking about. And I'm like, oh, sweetheart, not H-E-A-L, it's H-E-E-L. And we use that to guide the dog. And then if they won't comply, we tap them a little harder. And all we're trying to do is get them to come in and heel at our heel and sit down. That brings up another really good point. I want to tell you guys, very often what I see people doing when they're training their retriever, the dog goes and makes a retrieve, and he's had the mechanics so much that he comes back in and he heels and he sits, and we don't say anything to him. And now he's sitting there, and we never told him to sit. So in my book, if he leaves, that's on us, not on him. Okay? So that wouldn't be a correction. That because we never told him to sit. And my thing is I always want to make sure that I teach the dogs to obey the command. I take away all of their excuses. And then what I do is I make sure that if I've given them a command, I make sure they don't break the command. And if they do, I reinforce the command. If they make a mistake, we just educate, all right? There's no correction there, we just educate. If they know better and we told them to sit and they get up, now we're going to correct them. Okay, so sit, hear, and heel. So we talked about saying here to the dog, comes in, sits in front of us, and then we tell them to heel. Now, why do I have dogs sit in front? Well, let's face it, that's what we do with our dogs when we want to move into casting. Alright? We're only going to do sit, here, heel, kennel, quiet, no, hold, and fetch. Once they've been through force fetch, we're going to start teaching them how to cast. So if a dog knows how to come straight to us and sit in front of us, then we can take a bumper from them, take a couple steps back, flip that bumper over there, and cast them into it. Makes teaching them how to do hand signals a million times easier. Okay? So that's super important. We want to make sure that here means come to us and heel means fish hook in and sit at our side. Alright? So, hey guys, we've covered three. One, two, three. The fourth one, which we're kind of running out of time on, is kennel. Alright, so if you got a crate, porta-pet, varied kennel, whatever it is, wire crate, teaching your dog to go in and staying in there until they're called to come out. Okay, kennel's another really important obedience command. And we use it in the field when we put dogs inside of ground blinds. We use it in the back of the truck. The dog jumps in the back of the truck. We tell him kennel. He goes in his kennel. We reach over there. We close the lid on it, the door on it, and we're good to go. So all of those things are very important. Over the next week or so, I'll address the basic obedience stuff again. I've got a dog, a chocolate lab named Rocky, who's only been in training for 3 weeks, and he is just at that space where he's starting to put things together, but he needs more obedience training, so we'll cover sit, here, heel, and do some more kennel with him. So if you're struggling with your dog or you need some more education yourself about how to teach your dog, then look for those upcoming. And if you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments below. Really appreciate you guys joining. Hey, we've been on for 12 minutes. That's what I promised today. Thanks for showing up. Love and light, my friends. Ciao.